Something.
So good to have you back, friend.
Be excited.
You've been gone for so long.
It's been 3 weeks.
I know. You got
Almost.
quarantined a little bit though.
Whatever. Whatever. You be alright.
You and me must never part. Monkey.
You why your lighting so dim?
My light is bright, like a diamond.
Mm. You like
It's
you're in
giving
a
us
cave.
that what do you call that? That Vinet background where you're in the middle and you're white and then the background looks a little dark. But my lighting is fine. Your light is shining right on your face.
Like a diamond. I need for your light to shine bright like a diamond.
My light, I think it does that, but I hadn't tried that yet. It's
Yeah, I
just
need for the I need that.
okay. Well, then next time I go, or I'll go off screen. I'll fix it so it does that. So
Go
you
ahead and go off screen now and fix it. Thank you. I'll take
do.
over from here.
Okay. Okay.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Tam. This is the uh. You can go off screen though and go fix that. Come
Well,
back.
I have to. While you do these announcements, I have to do these announcements and stuff first and get you, you know, situated because
Mm.
get you
Fix
situated.
fix it, Jesus. All right. So we
Jesus, like
are.
Jesus is working within me.
Mm, we are women in Linux. I'm Tam. That's D. And what we're gonna talk about today on How We Linux, which is episode 20
7.
27.
Mm-hmm.
Want to make sure that we acknowledge that, and we had episode 50 earlier, and we didn't do our giveaway. Right?
Reading.
It's okay. I don't know what we're gonna give away this time. Hmm. Maybe a class, maybe a gift card. I don't know. But either way it go, we're Women in Linux. You can find us across social media at Women in Linux, at Women in Linux, including Meetup.com and LinkedIn. Again, that's where we keep pretty much everything up to date on Meetup.com. So if you don't join the Slack, at least join Women in Linux. If you don't do that, at least join the YouTube channel. Hit the notification button and go from there. Uh, Shout out to Sasha. Shout out to see Casey this morning. I guess I should shout out Sasha twice. Sasha. Shout out. See Casey. Mr. Best in the World 84. How are you doing? You are welcome for the knowledge in the relationship. Yep. Mama Do, what's going on? How you doing? Hope everything is well. Hope everything is all right. Let's get into it a little bit here. Again, you can like I said before, you can find us across social media at Women in Linux. You can hit connect. It'll drop you into a nice little page, purple page, purple pinkish a little bit. Um, where you can join our. It'll sign you up to join our Slack. You must have the Slack app in order to join and so forth. All right. Next one is if you want to donate with us, you don't have to donate money. You can donate with your time. You can donate by spreading the word, tweet, TikTok it, whatever it is that you want to do, Snapchat it, whatever. And hit the donate button here if you want to donate with money and so forth. All right, let's see if D is ready. Let's see what this looks like. Come on back, D. Welcome to the stage. Mm. Nah, I can't hear you.
So it was already bending. So I just brought it down a little bit, and I don't really think it.
I don't see the difference either. Is it up as bright as it can go? I don't
I
think it
probably
is.
turned it down a little bit because
You turned it
it's,
down a lot.
it's blinding. And you know,
It,
I have sensitive eyes, and so it's blinding, like up as hell. But you know, when you mocha and you know you're a little brighter,
You
It
know, it's a good thing
reflects
I'm backstage and I can control when you be on these ridiculous rants when you
when you
mocha.
know everybody can't
You
be
are
made,
not you are not mocha.
and you are a mocha.
You're you're
You
more
know,
like
and
a
then my background is matte, yours is shiny, so it reflects the light. You know, it's light. It reflects the
you're more like a caramel with a splash of oat milk or something like that. You want to be
you.
mocha so bad. I don't get
You
this.
are mocha,
You are not
or you
mocha.
are hot chocolate for
You
the
are
world.
not hot chocolate.
You know, your light hit different. Let me tell you, when I moved to the south, I was chocolate. I'm
They
taking it.
lied. I keep trying to tell you, those men lied to you.
Who said it was just me? See how you do me?
They men, women lied to you.
Men, women, and
I'm
the
telling
children.
you, they
You know
lied to
what?
you.
You're not about to murder me. That's what
They
you don't
lied
know.
to you.
But I miss you, so I'm glad you're back.
I'm
We should
glad
have
you missed me.
I would say we should have a drink. But I'm doing good. I've been lost 4 pounds since you've been gone.
That's good.
I've been trying to hit 5, but I had sweet potato pie last night.
Mm, ain't too
What are we
bad.
talking about today? Hmm?
You ain't too bad.
No, I didn't. I didn't. I'm still 4. I've been holding a solid 4, so that's good for the week. If I can
Uh,
average about 4 a
uh,
week, it'd be cool.
so we're gonna do a little differently before we get in our stuff. We want to hear from you first. So I'm not going. I got a lot of stuff to share,
All the
but we're
time.
gonna do it differently today. Drop the link, D, for people to come join the panel. It would not be like an AMA, but I want to hear from you. Where you investing? Um, where you putting in effort to take your tech skills and build? What does that look like for you for 2022? What did it look like for 2021? The doors of the church is open. I want to hear from you first. I'll start with myself, and then we'll go to D, and maybe somebody will join. I'm gonna keep it open today. I'm gonna keep it loose today. Not that I don't
This
have
is me
stuff.
opening it. I'm the Earther. I'm on the extra board.
Not that I don't have things to share, because if you click to the screen, D, I already got everything queued up. Like you see my tabs. I got tabs. I got stuff to share. However, I'm doing differently. Instead of waiting to the end, I want to hear from you first. We're gonna make you first priority today. Um, I'll start with myself. For 2021, you all know I did um the Sans.org study in passing the test. Also, gained some new toys. Um, went home, saw my mom. Started working on writing a course, or two courses actually. Um, of course, the content here every week, content during the week, the interviews. Been on countless of different YouTubers, streams, and so forth. Um, I've also been in talks with, you know, some special stuff that's coming up. I was talking to D about it. Well, she already knew about it. I mentioned it before. You probably don't remember, but just in get some things in motion with that. The one on ones, mentoring. I'm trying to think. Is that everything? It sounds like everything.
Are those the investments you've made,
Uh,
or just an overview of
just an
the
overview of
last year?
2021. When I say investments, I mean those are investments to myself and to other people,
Oh, okay,
right?
we get that.
And what have those investments turned into, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's one aspect. The other aspect is, you know, building, right? looking at property, uh, being on the hunt for property to purchase, rent out land, multifamily units, create a bit, grow a business, buy a business, um, just just a slew of things, right? So that was what my 2021 looked like.
Mm-hmm.
Part of that is 2022. The courses are 2022, and now 2022, possibly may um be doing more business ventures. You never know
Right.
what can happen. So, and studying, of course,
Well, no,
GCP.
congratulations. You got a science certificate.
Thinking I'm getting ready to sign up for another class.
I mean, you worked hard for that.
Yep, I work hard and slept hard and play hard. Right. Working on a new cert, two certs, actually three certs. Got some work coming up with Hashi, as well. So, I'm looking forward to it. Right. Over to you, D. That's what
Um,
I got so far.
that's what you got so far. That's a
Mm,
lot. You need to mind map that.
I guess.
I know when
Oh,
I mind map
oh yeah,
myself,
and
it
the
was a whole lot.
oh
I
yeah,
was overwhelmed.
oh yeah, and the other thing is studying for my Series 65. This is the other way that you can become an accredited investor or manage a fund. I mean, I'm done.
You
It's
done?
on you, dude. Yeah, I'm waiting on you.
Oh, okay. So I think for me, 2021, the investment started at the end of 2020. Um, I invested in a course, uh, and I got offered a new gig that started at the beginning of 2021. So it's been almost a year at a new gig. Did invested in an infinite banking policy for myself, which is been great. I don't want to say it has been a struggle. It's not a struggle, but you know, I think you have to pay in it for so long before you see the benefits. But I like it because you can borrow from yourself. You can basically be the bank. I've maxed everything out as far as what my contributions are. Um, I pay myself 20%. I think that's something that I've always done. Um, Played around in the stock market. I had some money sitting there, and it was just sitting there and wasn't gaining anything. So it forced me. I'm not as diligent as I think you would like me to be, but I've seen some movement and made some significant strides, and I'm proud of myself. And I wanted to actually dig in deeper. Um, I, I mean, I took some hits personally. Last year, I lost my grandmother around this time. And so, but with all of those, it was some really great wins. You can't complain. Mentally, it was a fatigue, but I mean, professionally, we just winning. We invested in an office. We got our own corner office, and moved into there. Invested in some Amazon stuff that we still haven't been able to really dig into, but we made that stride to see what that's like. We bought our first car in our business fleet. We invested in a van for that. So business wise was really really good. Um, Celebrated our 5th-year anniversary. And like I said, for all the negative, it was so much positive that happened. Got an influx of new people that are excited to join technology and what technology can afford them as far as just mentally and physically and financially. So we always try to have that holistic perspective. As far as education for myself, like I said, getting more into the stock market. And I know tech stocks and jobs not only helps everybody, but it helps me as well as far as where I need to be placing some things. Uh, this is episode 27 of How We Linux, which is super dope. We did 50 episodes of tech stocks and jobs, super dope. We did our first episode of Binary Hustlers. That was awesome. And, the especially Binary Hustlers, that's something that we've been talking about since we met. Um, you on mute.
We're gonna do another episode today. Yes, that's right, D.
Probably not. Um, so,
Well, I'll
uh,
do an episode. How about that?
probably not.
Why
Um,
can't I do it?
we'll talk about that later.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what else? I mean, we got so many new
Awesome.
people that are taking a pledge to invest in themselves. What I want to see for 2022 is I definitely need to see more people coming out of their shell. It may seem like it's easy for us to get up here and speak and talk to you about these ideas and concepts, but I'm an introvert. I really don't like being on the camera. I rather be behind the scenes. So coming on the camera is definitely a push for myself. So if I can do it, I can say anybody can do it. Tamika, she is a natural bubbly personality, but it was a time where she didn't, it wasn't a camera thing for her either. So she definitely makes it seem a lot easier than what it really is. But
I
I
don't know.
challenge you to.
Ask the audience. Do I make it seem easy?
Oh, I mean, I'm just going by feedback and things
No.
that
I'm
I
just
see.
saying. Yeah, I'm just saying. Let's ask the audience. Does it seem easy? Do we make it look easy to come up and cam up and share thoughts and share research and ideas every week? Does it seem easy? Does it flow? Um, is it confusing? Do we look nervous? I don't know. You tell me.
Everyone's like, yes, 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 and I mean, it's the World Wide Web, so you're learning new things, and especially I know for women, we're such perfectionists when it comes to things that
Oh, make it look easy,
we
man. So is that why? So is that why it's hard for y'all to come backstage and share your wins, even your losses, right? And how you may correct it. Those is it like hard. I don't know if you know if that why it is. Do you think you're gonna come on and you're gonna mess up what we're doing? I like to know because you know why. Let me tell you why. Because when we're having the meetups on Wednesday, and I'm like, does everybody understand? It be just like this.
crickets.
Crickets. I be like,
Knowing you don't know what's going on, but it's a disservice to yourself because if you don't, if and this is what we talk about in one-on-ones, if you don't ask questions or you don't engage, we don't know what you know or what you don't know at the end of the day. And so what that does is it makes us keep foraging on with the information because silence is agreement. One good thing that we have with us is that it's a partnership, so we can bounce things off of each other. Of course, Tam has been in the industry much longer than I, but I believe in everybody blooming where they're planted, and that way, we can make the most of our talents and be able to grow our organization and our business and friendship at the end of the day. So if you feel like, it's something that you can't do on your own, get yourself a partner in crime. Somebody that you can bounce ideas off of. It may be a good friend, it may be your significant others. It may be a stranger that you meet and you guys just vibe on that regards. But you do have to speak up. And that's a part of getting hired. Like there is a certain level of confidence, and it's okay to say, I don't know, but I know how to research that. And that's why we're here. Um,
I want to look at it from this perspective. Um, and I talk about this all the time. I was talking about it this week in another Slack channel and on. on Clubhouse. I was talking about this. This gives you a way to practice to being an advocate for yourself. Um, when you are at these companies or when you're talking to companies, one of the things that partnering with a company or getting VC funding is like, why should I invest in you, right? You know, if you can't say why you won't invest in you, and then you got to go tell it to somebody else, right? You know, you got to learn how to speak, you have to learn how to engage, you have to learn how to talk. So how can a community invest in you if you won't even tell the community how you invested in yourself, or highlight how you invested in yourself, or share with others how you invested in yourself? That could be a story, or that one, or just that one little thing that saved them from dropping out of doing something in tech or so forth. Like, and that's why I wanted to start with the link, with dropping the link today before we got started into anything else, because I want you to have a voice. Again, this is not my platform for me to say, look at how much I researched this week, and look at all these things. Like, there's a ton of things that I don't even talk about. I probably could do a show every week for at least 6 hours, if you let me, right? I could be on here all day because I look at so much stuff, from the Business Journal to Business Insider to Seeking Alpha to multiple clips on not just YouTube. I go to websites, I go to company websites and pull down um, their financials. I go look up the CEOs or the CTOs, where they came from, what did they do at the companies, so forth. So, like, I could go on for days, but I'm here to say this is platform, is for you. So I want to turn it over into the hands of you, the people who come here every week, to share their ideas. Like, what are your thoughts? What is your journey? Where are you going? What have you taken from? Have you learned anything from tech stocks and jobs? Have you learned anything from the meetups? Have you learned anything? Kiana's in the chat. Gail, how you doing? Seema, how you doing? But have y'all learned any? Did you learn anything from when we had Kiana on? Have you learned anything about investing that you didn't know, that you learned, like, and then were able to go off and do your own research? What has your own research returned you? um like, you don't come here every week to hear me just talk. I hope not. I hope you
But they
come here.
do. But they do. It's informative. I mean, we come back. We
Hold
come
on.
every week to share,
No, but
and
hold on.
so
Hold on. I hope you come here to hear me talk, but also execute, right? Talking is one thing, execution is another.
what? But you're
And
not
what have you,
talking. You're sharing resources,
when I say talking, I mean on the platform. I mean, I gotta talk on the platform
right?
in order to
And this
share
is
the
your
research.
journey.
I gotta
This, I
talk.
mean, nobody should be able to speak to your journey,
I
but
get
you.
I
No,
get
I'm,
it.
I'm just, I'm speaking in general about when it comes to confidence. Like nobody can be able to
Oh
speak
yeah.
about you, but you. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So to share what's going on with yourself, how you're learning, if it's easy, if it's hard, if
Or
sometimes you
or
can
or not even hard.
confuse,
Or not even
confused. I'm
hard.
always confuzzled about some stuff. Like,
That's what I'm saying. Not even hard. Just like, damn it, I don't even know what you're talking about.
yeah, I mean, it's always nice for us to have some feedback, but it also releases that energy of anxiety within yourself. and to get things done and to share, to know that other people are going through the exact same thing that you're going through. Like, learning is a process. And sometimes you make progress and sometimes you regress.
Yep. S-
But
So we're gonna get started. Nobody came up. That's cool. Keep the link posted. You could probably pin it in the chat. I think you can pin it up there.
mm,
Care the meetups are posted in our Slack, and they're actually unlisted, right? So if in the Slack, the meetups are posted there. Now, some of the meetups I've done live, like for for that, right? Yeah, well, yeah, we're all learners. Yeah, no one knows more than I just share what I learned, what I found fascinating, know about this, and here's how I look at it. Here's what I see across the landscape and so forth, right? So that's what we do. All right, so let's get cracking. All right, Skillsoft. I don't know if you all been catching, follow Skillsoft, know who they are, what have you. Where's my mouse? Oh, there it is. All right, Skillsoft to acquire Code Academy, a leading platform from learning high demand technical skills, creating a worldwide wide community for more than 85 million learners. They got acquired for $525 million in cash and stock. Why is that important to me? It's important to me because a lot of your major companies use Skillsoft. And when I tell you Skillsoft, like every time I would go in there and they were like, we have a learning platform with Skillsoft, and you would go in there, they was behind. I'm just gonna say it. They was behind. They needed to have somebody uh refresh their content because they couldn't keep up. It's the same way with a lot of these online platforms, right? You got to be constantly learning and watching what's new that's coming out in order to apply these things. Like if you don't do that, keep up with what's going on, your content is going to be behind, and then nobody's going to pay for it. Pluralsight had that problem too. um I can understand the move with a cloud guru and um who they partnered with. um you're gonna probably see a lot more people partner because the time it makes the content to produce it, critique it, get it out there, and then if the person's not a full-time content creator, then you got to think about, well, when does that person have time to update that content, so forth and so on. What kind of social life do you have? And then you're building a platform. um, so Teachable is the opposite of that. Teachable is like, hey, we got a platform, you go make the content. Versus Pluralsight is like, hey, we got some people that are internal that make our content, but they also grab people outside of that. Like, Teachable. Like when I look at Pluralsight, I look at Pluralsight and say, oh, they got all these things, and Teachable does too. But I think more tech companies would sign up with a Pluralsight than they would with a Teachable, if that makes sense. But they got acquired for 525 million. I'm echoing on someone. D, you want to turn your volume down a little bit? Yeah. Code Academy is an innovative and popular learning platform, high demand technical skills to approximately 40 million registered learners through in nearly every country worldwide. The platform offers interactive self-paced courses, hands-on learning in 14 programming languages across multiple domains, such as application development, data science, cloud, and cybersecurity. In addition, Code Academy platform can rapidly expand to deliver a new skill at scale, right? So Skillsoft had to partner with them. That was no way out of that. Strategic, rational. rationale and benefits. Creates a leading technology in developing offer, expands immersive platform with new ways of learning. When I talk about new ways of learning, I was going over this in my head. I actually want to do women in Linux meetups in the metaverse. I want to do that probably once a month. So I have been looking at how can I set it up where we can meet in the metaverse with each other, and actually teach Linux. I haven't seen anything out there that where someone is teaching Linux like that. So I wanted to, you know, create something around it. And I've been doing some investigation on that. Even maybe holding a virtual meet and greet um, in a metaverse. So I'm still exploring that, um, where it gives you a chance to meet people from just around the nation, around the world. I mean, we've had people on here from different sectors, well, different not sectors, but different continents and so forth, up and through here. All right. So the next one, D, I just give her a call. Like she probably don't know the look. It's all good. Let me go back down. Where my mouse at? She disappearing on me. All right. Next one, create substantial cross-selling and upselling opportunities by adding a strong brand and powerful digital marketing, digital sales and marketing to global enterprise sales force, and expected. Do you got feedback from you? Can you go on mute? Yeah. Expected to be significantly um, assertive to bookings and revenue growth immediately upon closing, right? And they talk about the transaction details. D has this link. She could post it inside of the actual chat so you all can keep up with that. All right. So next one up was this one that I looked at. So Blackbaud acquires Ever FI, a SaaS leading producing corporate ESG and CSR initiative that reaches millions of learners each year. Now, these are things that I talk about with these different learning platforms. People are going to acquire us, are going to start acquiring a lot of more learning platforms. We're just at that stage now. Well, we're just not able, producing content and for different things I'm waiting for the ones for. I have to go on Udemy to see how much I see on IoT devices and space, um because I haven't seen a lot of that, but maybe that's some content that need to be created. um Blackboard, um the world's leading cloud software company, uh, powering social good today, announced it's acquired its social impact technology leader Everfi. I don't know if you all are familiar with Blackbaud or whatnot, but let's go over here. They were looking for stuff. They were looking for people back in the day, right? Built for the world's most inspiring teams, fundraising, marketing, grant making, analytics, payments, and more. 100 billion raised, granted, and invested. So they acquired Everfi, which is this company over here, right? So partners with organizations and educators to form the way is delivered, right? Using cutting edge technology. Um, right here they made it official on their headline, right? And here's what they have here: financial education, workplace training, and community education, right? And there's just their different resources and so forth. And that's another thing right here. When we look at resources, um, we should probably start looking at writing white papers on on things that we've discovered and potential ideas. Part of it, you can write a white paper. You can do a pamphlet or whatnot. But why did I like what did I like about Blackball? I had to go pull up my email. Let me do that real quick. Do you can come back on? Let me pull up my email real quick. Let me see if I have the my if I still have Blackbaud in here. I don't. Let me see. Maybe in another email. But I remember them from way back when they were looking for people and so forth. So let me see. Kiana, I don't know. You said I am. I'm not sure what you said I am to. You was looking at some positions at Blackboard Social. Yeah, they've been around for a while. Um, and that platform. So now they're with Everify. So of course, there's going to be some restructuring and so forth. So I would continue to look at them and see what kind of jobs they got. I'm here, so I mean, I guess I can go right there and look at that. Let's see what kind of Linux jobs they got. Become a partner, training, careers. I'm just gonna type in the word Linux because I'm lazy. Okay, IT systems admin, senior system configuration manager, senior DevSecOps, senior systems engineer, software senior principal, senior data managing operations data engineer, senior data, network security, and so forth. Right? That's just off the rip, and then you can go right here and just click on that one, and here's how it narrows it out. So they don't put DevSecOps under there. They put that under engineering, product and design. Yep. And you can hop over here. I'll blow this up. CI/CD, we know that part is coming in. JavaScript, Azure, right? Probably what they're looking at. PowerShell. And you remember we found out we could put PowerShell on Linux boxes too. And it looked like it may be remote, right? And they got different senior principal and for this right here. And a job is available in 48 locations. See all locations. So again, remote. All of those are remote. Pick one, go from there, right? Blackboard. You can go probably look them up on Glassdoor to see what people say about working for them. Right? You need to check them out. All right. So this one I found interesting here. We had already known about the investment into women from Goldman Sachs. This is more or less an update on where those and what some of the companies they had invested into, from low as $1,000 up to $35 million. This is going to be an ongoing topic. We also know that this topic was controversial. Um, because everybody was like, yeah, why are you investing into this group, this particular sector, or this particular group of people, particularly Black women, which is going to kind of come back fold on the tail end of what I have for us today. Um, Maybe a little topic, maybe a little off topic, but we'll bring it all back in together. Again, if you want to know, if you want to come up, more than happy to come up and share your thoughts, whatever the case may be. All right. So I'm going to play this from the beginning, and then we'll go from there. I won't spend a lot of time.
Investments, partnerships, and grants as part of its 1 Million Black Women Initiative. Launched in early 2021, Goldman's 1 Million Black Women Initiative reflects its intention to spend more than $10 billion over the next decade to advance racial equity and economic opportunity in Black women. Joining us now for more is Goldman Sachs Asset Management Global Head of Sustainability and Impact, Margaret Anadou. Margaret, nice to see you again. Thanks for joining us. A lot of investments here. How did you go upon selecting where you would invest?
Yes, hi, thanks for having me. So I think the selection process and really directing our efforts has probably been, one of the more validating parts of the initiative. So when we announced this initiative back in March to invest $10 billion alongside $100 billion of philanthropy to narrow opportunity gaps for at least 1 million Black women over the next decade, a key part of the initiative was really listening. we knew importantly from the start that if we wanted to have a real impact on Black women and their families and their communities, that we had to put their voices at the center. And so since the last time we connected on this about 9 months ago, we've engaged with over 20,000 women in one-on-one conversations, roundtables, to really large public listening sessions. And so they have been the real source of many of the investment ideas, many of the grants that we're providing to organizations led.
All right, I'm gonna pause that right there for this sake. Not just YouTube, but I want to pause right here because I want to highlight these companies, right, that made the investment in Chime. I think they put 35 million in Chime, funding you, Wonder School, on the roads, and I'm gonna mess this up. Cedero Verde, South Meadows, and you can see the locations. I'm not sure what national means. I don't know if they're a if they are like everywhere or whatnot. But you can see the locations in which they have invested in, and you heard actually what some of the money that they're going through as well too, right? And like I said before, some from listening to this, some of this was like as low as $1,000, and you heard they've already talked to 20,000. I'm going to say majority women. It may be a company, right, that may be represented by mainly by women. It's 51%, but then they have other members or whatnot. But I did want to highlight this because I think it's important to for you to know that, hey, if you do have some money that you want to invest, go check these companies out, right? Go check and see actually what these companies do. Go see if they're hiring. Go check out who the founder is. Follow the founder on LinkedIn, on Twitter. Look them up, right? It's nothing like knowing that again who the founders are, and that they're getting they need funding, and then also you may form a relationship, right? You never know. Kiana says she knows a few of the founders backed by this program. Yeah, yeah. So I mean, just this is more, like I say, more of an FYI. Like, don't knock it until you try it, right? Everybody got up in arms because it was 10 billion being invested in Black women, but go find out what they invested into, right? Go find out the companies they invested into. What do those companies do, right? What technology are they using, right? They're probably gonna 9 times out of 10 need cybersecurity people as well too, right? So let's go to Chime Solutions. I just have one right here. Here's their website. Here's their careers. Operations manager, a team manager. They look like I have a lot of operation manager there. Talent acquisition recruiter, service delivery consultant, payroll specialist, HR generalist, call center representative, service delivery QA. They got 4 pages. Let me go up here. Let me look at categories. Let's go information technology. Um, did it filter it out? I don't know if it did or not. Let me do search. Okay, security systems risk analyst. The text is small. Okay. Security DRI position will manage and implement security requirements and standards at the contact center facility. This role will serve as a champion ambassador of security activities, philosophies, and will set the tone, direction, and energy of the company's security program. So they're probably going to have to hire more people. Probably need to do an analysis and then start bringing people in, right? Design and implement and maintain security policies, procedures, practices, which provide protection for the facility, information, equipment, and personnel in accordance with the business and the client requirements. Lead all aspects of security function, including strategic planning budget management, staffing, and leadership of all security operations. Right. So I'm not gonna go down this verbatim, but I'm just highlighting like, hey, here are these companies out here. They're getting they're getting created. They're getting built. Why not go look at them, invest in them, whether you work there or whether you invest in them from afar or what have you. Let other people know, share these stories, and go from there. Right? That's my goal. I'll keep going on this one because she talks a little bit more. Hey, Kevin.
By Black women. And so really the process has just been listening, sitting back humbly and understanding what the challenges are and importantly what the solutions are, and then putting that capital behind those great organizations and entrepreneurs.
So Margaret, I'm curious what you guys have heard. What have been sort of the top things maybe that surprised you, the top needs of the folks you've been having conversations with?
So much of what we've heard is that these issues, of course, just starting with that alarming racial wealth gap of 90% between Black women and white men, it's complex, and really the approach that we have to take is comprehensive. So we've heard loud and clear that there are challenges around housing, around healthcare outcomes, around access to education, and that's everything from early childcare education, which we know is important, all the way to vocational programs to upskill adults and help them switch careers. And so what we've heard is that if we want to make a difference here, and we've been very clear about the length of the commitment, the size of the commitment to have a real impact, we have to focus on these issues that really cut across Black women's life cycle, everything from where they're born, where they learn, where they work, where they get their information around financial health. And so what we've heard is what we thought, that Black women have the answer, and our investments in housing, in companies that are going to provide family sustaining wages, in entrepreneurship, all of these things are bearing fruit as we intended.
All right, so I want to pause right there. D, you could come on screen on this one because this is probably gonna probably piss some people off, but it's all good. So I want to open up the door and have a conversation about it. I got more stuff, but this all is centered around it. What I want to know is, do you think you got to turn it down, D? Coming in hot. You got to turn the volume down.
If it goes down any lower, I'm not gonna be able to hear you. So hold on.
All right. So what I want to know from you, men and women, children or whatever, what I want to know from you is, do you think that the money should be invested into Black women, and do you think that that choosing to build companies, and I'm more interested in building, do you think that is the right approach in terms of building out our community? Right? Does that help? And where I'm coming from with this is this. And I've always said, I say it again, collectively as a community, we ain't got it. We ain't got it as a collectively as a community. So I look at building the community as a multifaceted approach. It's not gonna be just, the children who are 4 or 5 years old, building them up to see it in 20 years. We need people who are the 30 to 55, who are still working, making money as well too, and that's on both sides. You're more than welcome to comment in the chat. I'm sure that it's going to probably spark some dialogue there. But I'm gonna turn it over to D, and D, you tell me your thoughts.
Because I was in the middle of turning the volume down and getting the headset, I didn't hear the beginning of your question.
Petty D strikes again.
I'm not being petty. I didn't hear you, so I want to make sure that I'm addressing your question.
So the question is, do you think the money should be invested into um black women, 10 billion to build the community? And again, I'm coming from the perspective of often what I tell this is just what I see. I see the children. I get it, they're the future, but 35 to 55 or 30 to 55, there's no money being invested there. And then as we build a community, it's not just a one prong approach, it's a multifaceted approach for me. So I like I said, it's going to be controversial for some, and some people are going to not like it. But I just want to get feedback because I think at this point, honestly, we're just too broke to argue. I don't even think we should be spelling argue, but that was my thoughts.
Okay, so there's so many parts of this loaded question to respond. So because the conversation was, should we give Black women money for the community? I'm
Well,
going
to
to
build companies, which my assumption, and I could be wrong, should be helping build the communities. I
okay.
could be wrong.
So my question to you is, what
Mhm.
is the community?
So that's a great question because everybody has been asking this question. Is the community and this is a topic, this is probably gonna piss a lot of people off. So
Mhm.
the community is the community a black man and a black woman? Is it a black man and whatever X is? Is it a black woman and whatever X is? Is it a community? Is it this? Is it that? Right? So that's a double-edged sword. We say community is what you make it. I'm looking at uh black man, black woman, child building and creating wealth. That's what I'm going with as community.
Okay, so for me, I would define that as a family.
Okay,
In now, I would make it a community if it was multiple Black families within a range, a
that's
neighborhood.
fine.
That would make it a community,
That's fine.
right? And so, also the proverbial community that I hear when people are speaking is the Black community. And so then that goes into say, is it the Black community nationwide? Is it the Black community in your city, your state? It's a lot. It's a lot to shoulder that the burden of the community.
And all
Um,
I want to add this. I do not think as black people we are monolithic. We're not, but I just want to add that in there. What's going on,
okay.
Just Jay?
So to keep it to keep I don't want to say to keep it light, but to keep it um fair. I am just for the sake of this question, I am going to keep the community to your respective city.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Where your city is,
We no, we want to
your
punch people
community.
in the mouth. We punching people in the mouth.
No, but I mean, I need to arc because everybody is going to go, potato to because for me, synergy is when people can get together and because each one. Okay, so for me, I was raised that charity starts at home. So for me, charity starts here at the Bachelorette Villa and it extends to my immediate family and everybody and friends and people that I can put my hand on to make an impact. Luckily, with Women in Linux, we have a virtual community. So that makes our impact much broader on a global scale because we get people from all over. That's what technology affords us. However, in the sense of building communities, and everybody knows the statistics of I don't want to say everybody knows, but
I, I'm hearing you dancing, D.
I'm not dancing. I'm not dancing. I'm about
I
to
hear you
I'm about to
dancing.
get to it, right? Just because you're a Black founder doesn't mean that you're exclusively doing Black business. And I don't want people to get pigeonholed that just because you are a Black founder, that your business is centered towards the Black community. It's business. It's supposed to extend past your color, right? Your ethnicity in that sense.
Mm.
Does your ethnicity have something to do with the opportunities that you are afforded and the people that you reach and the people that can identify you? Absolutely. Does that leak over into the community? Absolutely. But I think it is a shared responsibility. Have women been shouldering that responsibility? Absolutely. It's just it Unfortunately, it's by survival that it's happened.
All right.
Now, some men would say that some Black men probably would say, well, why they giving all this money to the Black women?
Oh,
Well,
my shoulder's going.
why are you giving all this money to the Black women? Well, the Black, we're still women and we're still an underrepresented group. When they
So
put Black on it, that makes us a double underrepresented group. So for the businesses that are giving money, it's a good look.
well, she already stated there's a 90% now. This is controversial as well too. There's a 90% pay gap between Black women and white men, but that's just the example that she used because I don't want people to take it out of context. Like, why they comparing the Black woman to a white man? Well, the reason why they're comparing a Black woman to a white man is because white men are probably the ones that are leading in all categories. It could have been a Hispanic woman. It could have been an Asian woman. It could have been an Asian man. It could have been a Pacific Islander. They were still going to compare that to a white man. I just want to make that clear, so that no one thinks it's going to be this controversy here, right? I want to make that clear. So I also want to make it clear that when we are having these conversations, it's not about, for me, it's not about the why. It's about how does the investment and the ROI and the ROI help not only not their families but the community in a
So when you
totality.
say there, are you meaning the Black women founders families?
No, not I
Okay.
said I don't want to say their families. That's what I
Okay.
said. I want to say how does it how do we all gain and benefit from it, right?
Right.
In other words, can like I just looked at a job. Is there a job that's being created for anybody to apply? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
How does now when you go to apply, what are you taking back from that, right? So that's what I'm simply saying. There are jobs being created. Somebody creates a company, hopefully they scale it, they create jobs, which generates funding and money and other opportunities that they then can take and go invest back into whatever they choose to feel that's worthy of their time and cause, right? And that's what I want to kind of dispel when we have these controversial topics is, well, they invested, but does that mean you can't go work there?
Right.
Does it mean that you can't go contribute to what they're trying to do?
Right.
Does it mean you can't get information from that group and to find out how they did something to create that company? What are the milestones? What are the pitfalls that they encountered?
It's
So
still a business. Are they
yeah,
discounted? Are their businesses discounted because they are Black women founders?
right. And I don't, and that's what I don't want to happen. Like
Right.
because it does, but I don't want that to be the narrative, right?
And then also, I think we are when people think of Black women as a whole, um, I think all of the negative stereotypes are attached to us. Like, Are these single
It's
women?
not-
You
yeah.
know, are these overly educated women? Are, you know, all of these things, and you don't know. But it's a sad thing that, you know, it's attached to us. I know I had a conversation with a sales rep for women in Linux, and he went into this whole thing about the black community, and I had to let him know. I was like, I'm like, we just happen to be black founders. I said women in Linux is not exclusive to black people. And he was just like, he had to, and we're having a video chat, and he had to look, and he blinked a little bit, and and I can tell he had an aha moment, because he prejudged what this was based on his limited exposure, or the research that he did, or just by looking at me and saying, okay, well, you know, they must serve the black community. And so that's another rabbit hole that you go down.
So I want to bring this up. So Kiana was posting in there saying that Chime was founded by a white guy. Here's the guy, right? Co-founder of Chime out of San Francisco. Chris Brett, right? CEO 2013, 9 years, board member, blah 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 blah, visa, blah blah blah, VP, blah, so forth and so on, right? So when you look at this one here, Goldman Sachs initiative to invest 10 billion in the black women, right? So here, and I think Chime was probably like, let me go back to it and see if Chime was like a partner. Let me double check it. Nope.
Yes.
New
Chime
investment
Solutions.
capital. What'd you say?
Chime Solutions. Is
Yep.
there a difference between Chime Solutions and Chime?
Let's look. I don't think so. Can you let me know?
I don't know, because earlier we had Rumble, and then we had Rumble On.
I know. Nope. I think they're the same thing. Yep. I just clicked
Okay,
on that
cool.
link. Same thing. They're the same. Maybe. Let me look. Contact about our vision, our mission, why Chime. I think they're the same thing though.
I
Maybe.
mean, that's like Calendly. You know, they
Here
have
we
a
go.
black founder.
Here's the CEO. It's Chime Solutions. Mark Wilson. He's the CEO. So there's the
Okay.
difference between Chime and Chime Solutions.
Okay.
Yep. So Chime Solutions, Mark Wilson is his name.
Right. But having a CEO and a founder is different, correct?
You can be both. Mark Wilson, that's what I said. Chime Solutions. Didn't get him. Let me go here and make sure I got him right. Yep, Mark Wilson. Mark Wilson, CEO. Chime Solutions. Okay, here you go. It's out of Atlanta. Yep. 2016. It come from E-Verify. Uh, and so yeah, so there's a difference between Chime and Chime Solutions. Yeah, yeah. So not all founders are actually women. Yep. But again, how does this help? Is the question. Still remains. Should it be done? I say it should because I don't care. For me, I don't care. If it was a black man or if it was a black woman. Again,
You
I'm
just want to see more faces in the places.
I just want to see more black. Like I say, I said this last night on Clubhouse. In the Fortune 500 or even in the Fortune 1000, how many black CTOs, not CEOs, how many black CTOs do we have? And I think across the Fortune 500 itself, I think last time I checked, we had, did we have 6 this time, or is it 10? I think we made 10. I think. Don't quote me on that. Um, CEOs, Fortune 500. I think we made 10. Yeah, see, one, two. This is a 2021. I don't want the richest. I just need only 19. February 21st, 19. Before we only had 10. We had 6, and then it dropped down, and now we got 19 on the 500 list out of 1,800, right? So creating is one. How do you create, right? How do you build the businesses? How do we build wealth, right? What does that look like? What's the road to do that? Now, if we even take it a level down, and the reason why I always take it down to a level down on the CTO side is just because it's rarely that I see that. I rarely see CTOs when we're talking about this. I see marketing, I see CIOs, I'll see diversity officers. We have 19 now for CEOs on a Fortune 500 company, but CTOs, I don't see that. Um, yeah, it's just gonna always relate back to CEOs. It's very rare that I find the CTOs at these Fortune 500 companies, or even the Fortune 1000, right? That are black. And if you're wondering what a CTO, Chief Technical Officer, um, I don't ever see it. So it's a gap, it's a path. The only other place that I know that, well, there's two places. I think Wharton, if I'm not mistaken, I think Wharton has a school for. Let me double verify. I think Wharton has a school for to be a CTO. Um, Wharton School of CTOs. I think they have one. Yeah, they have a CTO program. Um, and let's see. It looks like Wharton has one. Berkeley has one. Sloan has an executive education, but I don't see where they have. I lost my thing. Let me. Oh, here it is, right here at the bottom. I don't see where I've seen too many other places have a CTO program, right? So Wharton has one, and that's the one I know about. A lot of people always saying go to that one.
Didn't Berkeley have one? Was it
Yeah,
Berkeley and Stanford?
Berkeley has one. It said right here. I'm assuming Sloan is just doing executive, probably executive management or whatnot. I've seen CTO certificates. Um, but like I said, I don't. Let's see, UPenn. I don't know of too many other ones. I think the last time I looked, I had only counted 6 or 7 of those. Right now, why is that important? Well, that's important, especially if you're, to me, from coming from a technical background. That would be like, to me, the ultimate high on your technical journey. To me, I could be wrong for other people, but to me, that's your ultimate for me, is to be at that level and saying, hey, I was able to take what I've been doing, take what I've been studying, and reach the CTO. Now, there are other ways to do this, right? I can go and start get found a company and make myself a CTO and start writing code and become my own CTO of my own company. But I'm also looking at it from the perspective of those of us that are not gonna do that, right? We're not gonna create that company and then come off and start building. Some of us are just gonna be okay with working and moving up the corporate ladder, whatever that looks like. So I hope that made sense. And for those that don't like what we're talking about, or you are against what we're saying or whatnot, please cam up. Come on up to the stage. Is like I say, it ain't about just us. This is about you as well too. Right? Do you got anything else to add before I go on to the next topic?
Nope. Go ahead.
All right, cool. All right. So, and I'm gonna come back to this. Y'all keep these other your thoughts in mind. I'm gonna come back to it. All right, so I want to show this too. Zynga, uh, Two Takes is purchasing Zynga. I know y'all probably play not video games, but your little games on the phone and whatnot. They're purchasing them for $12.7 billion. And like they say, like Zynga, I don't know if you're familiar with Apple privacy changes. So Take Two is purchasing them, and that's going to help combat that because we'll probably have to look at Apple privacy changes so you get an idea of what I'm talking about. Let's see. So yeah, Apple apps to receive user permission to track their behavior across other apps and websites. So remember, they was able to track you. I don't know if y'all know those read this the fine print in there, where they're able to track you across your what you're doing and so forth. But that got changed, right? And so Zynga was like, okay, well, we can't track anymore. So here's what that looks like. So we'll go look at Take Two here in a minute. But last year, Apple introduced a privacy change that allows users to choose whether they want their apps to follow them across the internet. That puts a damper on the ability for game developers to make cash off of advertisements in their titles when relying on ad networks. So if you ever wonder how that happened, here you go, you're being tracked. Like I said before, people like, hey, I'm not on social media, but your phone comes loaded with games already, right? So you're being tracked. But and if you got a social security number, you're being tracked. Um,
Your whole existence is just being tracked.
right.
You
By
just track.
increasing their mobile footprint, Take Two and Zynga can cause their own ad network to target gamers without having to rely on third parties. This will allow them to bypass the privacy related roadblocks caused by Apple transparency. So let's go back and say that again. By increasing their mobile footprint, both Take Two and Zynga can cause their own ad network to target gamers without having to rely on third party providers, right? More games are contributing user traffic into the ad network, allows Take Two to better target ads and therefore charge for more advertising. Harvard, and this coming from Harvard business professor Andy Wu. The result is, let me see, companies will morph into what Wu calls content fortresses. And we see that, right? By grabbing a smaller studio as possible to build out their offerings and create a bulwark against Apple privacy settings, right? So again, if you have these games, they are tracking you. I want to highlight that your habits, your your touches, your visits, and all that matter. And people make money off for the gamers to show you make money off the advertising and what gets advertised to you, right? So that just want to show that. If you want more on this, D can drop the link in the chat. And this is more. This was about it right here. Oh, how much was the acquisition? Oh, hold on.
Not
That's
only
what I didn't
is the
say.
CEO over at Take-Two Interactive a fitness god, he has a business sense that you don't want to mess with. And then there's the deal with Zynga, right? Let's bring in Dan Howley to help us understand what's going on with this deal. There are naysayers out there who think this is a mistake, but investors today are saying, well done, Strauss.
That's right. They Take-Two rather purchased Zynga for that $12.7 billion. That's a huge sum, especially when it comes to video game company acquisitions. We had seen Microsoft acquire ZeniMax last year for around $7.5 billion, I believe. So this obviously much larger. And the real reason that we're kind of looking at this is because it works as kind of a bulwark against recent privacy changes that companies like Apple have implemented. Now, just to give you an understanding, Apple put these kind of changes into place where they ask you if you want an app to track you. When you say no, you prevent apps and app developers from seeing what your interests are across the web. So say you use something like Farmville, right? So it's a Zynga property. use Farmville, then you go over to a website.
Now y'all see that? You see this video right here? You see this gaming conference right here? Y'all see that? Has anybody been to a gaming conference? I asked in the chat, do y'all create games? Do y'all create online video games? Have y'all been to a gaming conference?
I
You know
have.
what I know you have. All right. But this is kind of like what it looks like. Maybe a little funky, but that's what it kind of looks like. Right.
And in one room can look like that. I mean, the gaming conference that we went to, I mean, definitely pre-COVID, but it did, like, one room did look like the casino where it was just rows and rows of people gaming, and it was dimly lit. All I was waiting for was like the cigarettes and somebody to roll. Well, somebody did roll out with a wheelchair. Take that back, but it
I
was cozy. It
mean,
was fun.
even at the game, sometimes people pass out, right? Because they're up, they're trying to stay up for 2 days, 3 days, or whatnot.
And then they had in the whole area out in the hallway with like these bean bags where people were just knocked out asleep.
Yeah. So I just wanted to mention that. I wanted to show. I really wanted to highlight what this looks like for a gaming conference, and again, creating the content around for games, going to the conferences and what that looks like, competing in the conferences and so forth and so on. Make sure you get into it, check them out. They are paying for kids are getting scholarships to go to colleges for gaming. I talked about this a while ago. Scholarship, I should say, gaming scholarships. Um, and what does that look like? Right here for esports, that's one. You can always go to UNIGO and look them up as a central repository. But how to get esports scholarships? Here's like top 5 scholarships for gamers and how to apply. Um, let's blow this up. Let me see on your FAFSA. Let me see. Okay, who are the people? Okay, another great option is to search and apply for scholarships on the platform bold.org. Um, but when you apply for a scholarship, it's easy to make mistakes that can take you out of the running. So follow the instructions, so forth and so on. Entertainment Software Association scholarships, Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences Foundation scholarships, AIGI World Studio scholarships, IGDA Foundation scholarships, NYU Game Center EBO scholarships. And then they talk about esports scholarships. A number of colleges and universities offer esports scholarships, from League of Legends, Hearthstone, and Overwatch are just some of the games that they have. Let me go back and get the colleges, e-game scholarship, colleges, I should say scholarships. All right. I'll click on that in a minute. All right, so let's see, esports, EBO, blah blah blah. 5. I want the colleges. There, here we go. Okay, this came out in April 29 of 2021. Let me blow this up some more. Um, and I don't know, have you all ever looked at how much gamers make? Let me do that first, and then we'll go back to the scholarships. All right, so there's a website out there, gamers, revenue. Forget the website off the top of my head. It's not Statistica. It's not that. There is a website I used to go to all the time. Gaming revenue, gaming. Forget what it's called. It was. I have to look through my notes, and it's not Statistica, but anyway, it's a website, and it'll come to me while I'm looking at it. That you can go to, and it'll show you the actual revenue for the teams. It'll show you the revenue for the individuals. It'll show you when the next tournaments are coming up and how much those tournaments are paying out. I'm gonna give you these colleges real quick. Is this my college one? Yeah, yeah. We'll give you these colleges. So University of California, Irvine, Hawaii Pacific University. Hey, that's the college I went to in Hawaii. Hawaii Pacific University. Um, HPU. University of Texas at Dallas. Full Sail. They're out of Orlando. Are they internet? Are they national? Is Full Sail national? Are they like a DeVry or something?
I thought they were out of Orlando. That's Stevie Wonder School, right?
Yep. Concordia University, Bellevue University in New England, Ohio State University, and let's get going. I guess how you say it, Gina? Valparaiso, is that right?
Good job.
All right, University, and Robert Morris University, and do I have another one? Yeah, Arcadia, number one, Glensdale. I'm gonna find this gaming one. Do you put the comment up on the thing? I need a good laptop. Any recommendations? I depends on what you need to use it for.
I'm like, ooh, that's like loaded. We use MacBook Pros.
Yeah,
Uh,
it depends on what you using it for.
what you using it for? I know my job has. I got a Lenovo. I got two Windows. I got a Lenovo and I got a Dell computer for work. Um, depends on what you're using it for and what you want it to connect to. So, I mean, my laptop and my tablets, they're both Apple products, but like my monitors and my televisions, they're Samsung. So it depends what you using it for, what you're trying to do. I know I was a Windows user for a long time before I got converted. And when I had to go back to a Windows box for work, I was like, why are you using this thing? It is it's pretty slow.
Now this
It's slow and it's always updating and thinking.
now this one is old. I'm still trying to find the link because it's gonna bother me. But I want to show this top streamer said to earn 50,000 an hour from playing new games. And this was back in 2019. You all, I don't know if you know who Ninja is, um, but he's he's made millions. He should be worth probably about an easy 100. Top streamer can make 50,000 per hour streaming new video games. Wall Street Journal said. Kotaku spoke with the industry sources who confirmed the report, adding that 50,000 per hour wasn't even the highest figure they've seen. Right, when we're talking about live streaming with your video games and so forth. Right. And this is going to even take off even more in the metaverse. It's going to take off even more with the. I have one coming up. Unless I did I report about the drones this morning. Even for the drones as well too, right? That's going to even take off when we start talking about streaming or whatnot. Um, Again, this is an old one, oldie but goodie. Uh, this is old, but I'll pull it up.
Can you increase the letters on that?
Yeah, yeah. I wasn't looking at it no more.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't looking at it no more. I was getting ready to pull this over. All right, this is old 2019. This is what I have in the gaming Slack. I'm going through that. The Twitch streamer Ninja Reporter earned 1 million for promoting Apex Legends launch. Right, just the promotions itself. That's why I say you have to go to the conferences so you can look at how Twitch, YouTube streaming on YouTube, how people make their money. What does that look like on the back end? Getting creating your team, the promotions. That's why I say the robo race is really huge when we're talking about that as well, because with robo race you got a team, you're building, you're getting sponsorships and so forth. So when we're looking at this, it's not just you playing the game. It's, it may be even building a team. Um it may be even doing the commentary for the team, being a spokesperson. So it is a lot of moving factors that don't get talked about, right? I guess it ain't in here. I'm scrolling through my channel to see if I can find the link because it's gonna bother me. All right. And Q4 said, "What type of laptop do you use?" I use a Mac. Yeah. And you said you noticed that we can't send you super stickers. Yeah, man. D was supposed to be looking at. I'm sure it's over 30 days now. D. She was supposed to be looking back into what was going
It,
on.
it it hasn't been. I want it to be, but it hasn't been. But it's coming up on it, and we'll take a look at it.
Okay. Now,
But you
yeah,
can always donate. I can put the link in the chat. But I do miss our super chats as well.
yeah, super
I
much.
like looking at them on the screen. Makes me feel special.
Oh God. All right, so let me go to the next one. All right, so that was that one that I wanted to report on that. So we did the Goldman Sachs. We did that one. This one right here, I put this up here because I talked about it earlier, and I said I was gonna put the link in the chat, and that's what I'm gonna do. On the earlier show, while I was talking about the tech sell off, and Kathy, which link did you want? Kiana, I'm not sure which link you wanted. But this I talked
Most
about,
likely the donate link that I'm about to put in the chat.
or she
Looking
wanted the
for it.
cam up link. Um, the the on the earlier show I talked about the tech sell off, right? We've been down for 2 weeks. We've been off and on actually, right? And so I wanted to make sure that you caught up with Kathy Wood, because I know some of you invest in ARK, but sign up to the ARK Invest channel, so you can get like when they go live and talk, because sometimes she'll have Elon on there. Sometimes they'll be, sitting around talking or whatnot. Just make sure you go check them out so you can get from a perspective other than what you see people in Reddit, what you see people on other things talking about. Go check it out for yourselves. And she dropped the link too. Right?
And the chat link to join the panel is pinned in the chat as well.
Okay. All right. So this is the other one that I want to do. All right. Here we go.
Businesses set their eyes on the metaverse. One sports league is looking to help its players build their portfolios in the process. The Drone Racing League is gearing up to launch its first play-to-earn game on Algorand's blockchain that will allow players to earn crypto and NFTs. Here to explain how it all works with us once again is the CEO and founder of the Drone Racing League, Nicholas Horbacheski. Nick, good to be chatting with you again, man. I mean, this is exciting just because, this is obviously one of the cutting edge sports leagues out there now moving into the play to earn space, which I think a lot of people have been watching. Talk to me how it's all going to work and how maybe our viewers can even get in on the action.
Yeah, well, it's great to chat with you again, Zach. We chatted a few months ago when we announced our partnership with Algorand, the blockchain technology company, and said that we would be leveraging blockchain to create new fan experiences. And this is one critical step in that. So we announced recently that we'll be working with Playground Labs, which is a development shop building on the Algorand blockchain to build a play-to-earn experience. And for your audience that isn't as familiar with play-to-earn are games where people can have fun playing the games they love, with the properties they're interested in, earning real economic utility and cryptocurrency in the process.
With this announcement as well, you've moved into the metaverse, something that we've been talking about for several months now. And I wonder how widely used it is.
All right, I'm going to pause it right there. And I want to say this. You don't have to bring me back on screen, D. But I want to say right here is what happens is when this first started, they were renting out like the Dolphins Stadium. They were renting out like whole stadiums in order to create the tracks. in order to have these racing leagues, right? A place to race. Not only that, they didn't have people in the stands before you could watch it remotely. There is you can go to the Drone Racing League website. They do have a newsletter. I'm subscribed to it because I've been following it now for about 4 or 5 years. But they have like when when they're recruiting for people, like there's a whole tournament in order to get in order to be on a team. There are sponsors, there are everything, right? Like it's like the football league, right? The next thing, and not at that scale, but that's the trials, right? The combine, if you want to call it. The next thing is why this is important is because like they say, earn to play. Like while you're playing a video game, you could be earning cryptocurrency. So you may not go after the scholarship, but now you can now play a video game, right, and earn NFTs or crypto as well. And they're going on to Algo Grind. I think it's Algo Grind. I think that's right. ALGO Grind. Let me double verify that before I tell you wrong. Algo Grind. Right here. This is who they partner with right here. So, all right, let's continue.
What are you seeing in this space? How many eyes are on that? Because I think it's tough to gauge. We've heard so many companies talk about the metaverse as if it's already been built out. What do you see there, and what is the potential?
Sure. I mean, look, it's a broad topic when people talk about the metaverse. And for us, it involves things like play to earn gaming, NFTs, cryptocurrency, all things that people can engage with. There's a lot of people using this right now. Play to earn gaming has really been growing over the last year. But we're excited to take it to a mainstream sport property like ours. And we think we're the perfect property for it. Our fan base is young, they're very engaged, they're super interested in blockchain and crypto. And so to create a property for them that lets them play online and also continue to engage with DRL is a great combination.
Yeah, I suppose it also kind of brings down the costs to on-ramp, I guess. I've been waiting to get my hands on one of these drones for a bit just because I haven't pulled the trigger. Still got to do a bit more research. But if I don't need to spend the money on a drone and I can still kind of control this thing virtually in a video game, how does that maybe help the on-ramp for people who had been locked out from maybe experimenting with drones?
Yeah, it's another way to get people involved. We currently have, obviously, our live racing. We've got some video of it up right now with real drones. We have racing in our DRL simulators. We do digital racing. We have a mobile game, drone racing arcade, where people also compete in drone racing competitions. And this will just be another avenue for fans to get engaged, doing it through play to earn, working with NFTs instead of sort of traditional gaming.
And then,
all right, so drop your thoughts in the comment section or about what you think about this, because we've all seen this week with the NFT stealing, people losing 200,000, 2 million, 1.2 million, the whole nine. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on this? Is this something that you would actually go after? Would you invest in it? Would you try it out? Would you see what it do? Would you introduce it to someone? Would you introduce it to a child? Would you do it yourself? Again, drone racing, you don't have to just race with drones. You can actually get into the real estate side with drones as well too, the construction side with drones, weddings, parties, the whole nine. It's a whole business by itself, right? And it doesn't take a college degree to do it, right? So I wanted to showcase that. All right. And then this right here is an article tied to it. If you don't like YouTube, you can always read this article. Drone Racing League CEO on crypto fan experiences inside the metaverse. The Drone Racing League discusses why the sports league is launching its first play to earn that will allow players to earn crypto and NFTs. And then they're talking about it here. I want to grab the article because I know some people don't like looking at YouTube clips, even though you're on YouTube. I get it, but hey, You can read that here. I'll drop that in there, right? So you can have it. All right, next up. All right, which one was this one? All right, back to our original subject. All right, so I wanted to find out this week. This is just a history thing. I wanted to find out about home ownership. These ready?
What you mean? I'm just leaning in.
These ready? All right. So I just started going around. Hold on, let me close out these links over here so we can get into it and make sure all my stuff is lined up right when we do it. Right. And we'll come back to the times that first one. All right. This is a good one too, but we'll wait. All right. So home ownership. You can see I have stuff lined up here. So I wanted to know like we hear the controversy about um what's the word? I hate the word because that doesn't apply to like the right, let's say the right to vote, right? When did we get the when did we when I say we, I'm not just talking about black women, I'm talking about black women and men. When did we get the right to vote? And when did white women get the right to vote?
Sooner than us.
Drop in the chat the year that white women got the right to vote. Drop in the chat. When did white women get the right to vote? Dun, 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 dun. And we should make it fun. Because it is a searchable. When did white women get the right to vote?
That's the whole suffrage movement and all that other good stuff. They was like
1920. Now look,
1920.
when did black women and black men get the right to vote?
For those that are saying forget history, huh? History don't matter. That was a long time ago.
The early 1900s.
I mean, if we was over there playing around in the late 1900s.
Nah, I went 1870.
It wasn't before white women.
When did black women get the right to vote? And black men?
If
You talking about
everybody had
1870
Google.
for men, all right? So, all right. So when did black women get the right to vote? Because I'm reading it right now. And this is important because I think people get things twisted about what really happened, what actually took place, right?
Well, it says that black men were given their voting rights in 1870, while the black women were banned until 1965.
And when did women allow versus rights? Correct. When do white women get theirs now?
Right, allowed is a big one.
Right. And the reason why this is important because I hear all this. I don't want to say rhetoric. I just want to say topics of discussion. Let's say that that we were a part of this whole movement of the right to vote. And yeah, yeah.
Right.
Black men were given voting rights in 1870, while black women were effectively banned until the passage of the Voting Rights Act of 1965. Right? 1965. My grandmother was born in 1905, '08. We're not really sure. So I just wanted to put that out there, right? All right, so let's talk about what effect did that have on just in general? What the voting rights, not necessarily voting rights. What as a whole in a community, um, how things have affected us in terms of um not I don't want to get down the wealth track even though I can. But I just want to talk about what does that look like for us as a community, right? So I'm gonna pull this up a little bit. Hold on. Maybe I can do all it is right there. All right, so you've seen the headlines before, right? The history of property rights and ownership, right? All right. It says in the U.S. to answer the question when could women own property? It's not until relative recently, and here's why. And this is as of November the 22nd of 2021. The battle for women's property rights and ownership was one of the longest and most significant, stretching from the 1700s into the 20th century, until women were legally granted the right to own property. Their husbands or another male relative had control over any property bequeathed or allotted to them. This lack of legal protection severely limited the financial autonomy of women. Today, women enjoy full property ownership and represent a vital segment of the U.S. real estate and so forth and so on, right? Subsequent legal advances, including the right to apply for a home loan and take out a line of credit, have also made it easier for American women to celebrate the important milestone in home ownership and financial security. When could women own property? By the beginning of the 20th century, most women could legally own property. However, women's property rights were slow to progress and so forth, right? So it says here, rights in the 1700s. They talk about Downtown Abbey, blah, 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 1700s, blah, blah. All right, the act to confirm certain ancient conveyances and directing the manner of proving deeds to be recorded required that the wife's signature on any deed to the property she bought into marriage in a trust before her husband could sell or otherwise transfer it. So whatever she got, she had to give it to her husband. Right. Significantly, it stipulated a judge must meet privately with the wife to confirm her approval and was not coerced. Although women were still not allowed to own property independently, for the first time they had a say in how it was managed. So that was that act. Right. Property rights for women are covered. The limited advances of the female property rights in the 1700s and 1800s only applied to European descent. Slavery was still practiced in the U.S. during this period, and enslaved women did not have property rights of any kind as they were legally considered property themselves.
Lord.
Native American women were also excluded and limited to legal protections extended to white women until the 1800s, which coincided with the emancipation and the expansion of the property rights. By the beginning of the 19th century, property rights for women were starting to gain legal traction. Connecticut paved the way by recognizing that the right of married women to execute wills and stipulate prenuptial and marriage agreements that allow a man other than her husband to manage her assets. This law didn't grant women financial autonomy, but it did prevent husbands from having unfettered control over their wives' property. So if your dad handed you as as his sole dependent or
Heir.
inheritance down to you, you didn't have control over it. If you got married, the man assumed that control over that property. Right?
Unfettered control.
Right. With the passage of, did I read that? Oh, here you go. Right here. I'm right here, right? Yeah. But it was until the 1970s that a woman could access a line of credit independently without a man to co-sign, blah blah, despite legal protection and so forth and so on, right? And this is who wrote that, Rebecca Wink, or Wink, right? She wrote that. So then I did some more deeper diving. I was like, how Black women have been undeterred in determination to become homeowners, a reminder of resilience. But let's talk about this, because the article is not about. I mean, I'm not talking about the resilience. I'm just talking about history. All right. It says that etched into the stone along Boston's winding Green Park, visitors can spot where the 25-year-old Zipporah Atkins purchased a plot of land in 1670. Zipporah was free and one of the first to own property in the United States. No married woman could legally hold real estate, but the census and the tax records show that nearly 2,000 women listed
Black women listed.
Black women listed as property owners across the South on the eve of the Civil War. Harriet Tubman, we talk about her. And then they also get into C.J. Madam Walker, right? And so in here, emancipation. Okay, we're doing multiply Black women's clubs. Maggie Lena Walker led the Independent National Order of St. Luke's in the 20th century. She often said women must band together, put their hands and their brains together, and make business. Walker became the first African American in the country to charter a bank and the first woman president of a bank. Her home was headquarters where she worked with civil rights leaders and oversaw many businesses and philanthropies. Right in the Renaissance, due to women like Walker, vibrant Black communities appeared in cities around the country, the Roaring 20s, despite Jim Crow. Right? C.J. Walker. Okay, right here. She understood the value of property as a tool of empowerment for African Americans, especially Black women. She urged 25, and I think y'all have seen the story, the 25,000 sell agents to buy homes with their earnings when she built her mansion and so forth. Not by depressed or depression. The Great Depression began about 20% of the Black population owned homes. Somebody look up and see how many how much percentage of home ownership do we have? All right. Single Black women emerged as a significant group in the 1990s. For instance, conventional mortgage loans increased by 114% in the metro Atlanta in between 1997 and 2002. Outpacing the growth among single white women and men. At the peak of the few years, overall Black ownership rate reached nearly 50%, more than half of that made up of women. But as the crisis of the 2007 economy unraveled, the single Black woman or women were hit the hardest, losing 38% of the wealth compared to 10% of white women. Right? So I wanted to point just some things out when we're having these conversations about history, when we're having these conversations about who did what to when, why is the community X, Y, and Z way. It's multiple factors. It is not just one. It is just not one group. It is just not one person. It is just not one gender. It is multiple things that have happened that you have to give a lens to. So, before I finish, before I go on, let me make sure I didn't have anything over here. No, that was about support. So before I go on, the reason why we have women in Linux is because, to me, I feel like in totality, we are behind. Financially, we are behind when it comes to talking about how money works, understanding the fundamentals of money. And we can talk about crypto all day long, but we know there are a subset of people, and this does not have to, we're not talking about a African American or white or Asian. We just know there are a subset of people that just are not going to get into crypto. 45%, okay, cool. 42 to 45%. We just know there are a subset of people that are not going to do it, right? And that's okay for them. They're okay with that. You can't beat them up and say, "Hey, go invest in the crypto because you got to invest." They just may not do it, and it's okay. But what I do want to bring the highlight to is who we are as a community and what D and I are trying to build, and those of you who are part of it, of the community. Drop in the chat. You know my number. What is my number for everybody to get their salary to? What's my number? We already know. There's a reason for that number. And I talked about it last week. I'll talk about it again. I'll keep talking about it. And the reason for that number is we need to start yesterday, last week, last year, before the crash, everything, right? We need to be able up 200K. We need to be able to not just I don't want to say control our neighborhoods, but we need to be able to invest in our neighborhoods. We need to be able to invest into each other. We also need to be able to save and build that, right? So when we look at, I just focused on Black women this week. I can focus on Black men. I don't think the stories are too different, other than the incarceration. I think drugs affected every Black man, Black woman. You just for you could say a Black man that was on drugs, just equivalent as I could say I know a Black woman who was strung out on drugs. Right? You can say that those that were strung out on drugs probably had some type of chaotic lifestyle, whether it's a female or a male that didn't have a place to stay, or they stayed with their grandmother, and so they were. We can equally showcase these arguments, right? Now the question is, what are you gonna do about it? What's the plan, right? Is the plan to keep talking about it? Is the plan to start making moves? What's your plan for your family? Have you templated out that plan? Because every plan is going to be different, because every person is different, every household is different, how much you bring in is different, what you do is different, where you work, where you live, is different. But what's your plan, right? What is going to be, what is your plan? I try to put forth a plan that I think can help. I don't think the plan is foolproof, by no means. And when I say that, I'm saying it from the perspective of, you can poke holes, and people laugh at me all the time. They're like, "Oh, you're trying to get Black men and Black women to be 200K, to be at a salary of 200K." And let me clarify that salary too. That path is, for me, this is what I see in the landscape, and I talk about it every week. Linux, pick a cloud. I don't care which cloud you pick. Um, learn a configuration management tool, whether it's Ansible, Puppet, Shovel, Salt. Learn to me, I think at this point, I talked about it last week, you need to have a multi-cloud mindset. So Terraform, Vault, the HashiCorp tools are in that play, and understand CI/CD. That would mean something like GitLab or a GitLab or Travis or GitHub or something of that nature. That lends you towards DevSecOps. Now, with that being said, can you just focus on Linux and go get a job? Yes. Can you focus on Linux and cloud and go get a job? Yes. Can you focus on cloud and um, configuration management and get a job? Yes. Can you just focus on cloud and get a job? Yes, but you still will probably need to know Linux and some type of configuration management tool and Terraform. Can you just focus on Terraform? Absolutely. And Terraform is going to circle back to automation with some cloud or some on-prem thing, right? But at the end of the day, um, at the end of the day, what I'm simply saying and what I've always said is be a T-shape when we're talking about studying. And DevSecOps lends its way into different areas of tech, from space to quantum computing to autonomous cars to drone racing league to the robo racing league to AI and machine learning. And you can go and be a specialist in any of those once you get in that field, because you may want to switch up. Who you are today is not exactly going to be who you are in 5 years, in maybe 6 months. You may get really, really good at Linux and really, really good at cloud, and then switch up and be like, I'm doing cloud security. And let me state that underneath all of those is security. It is a security component in every last one of those things, right? It's a security component in every last one of those things. But you got to get started. We're not in the game. I'm tired of the rhetoric. I'm tired of the talking about it. I'm tired of like what we're gonna do. I'm tired of the wars. Me, we got to get in the game. And I'm just trying to supply a way for us to get in the game. If you don't know, come to the meetups. If you've never been to the meetups, and do not feel like don't want to come to the meetups, set up a one-on-one, email us something, but get in the game. And I preach it so much. We're getting left behind, like, and what I showed, and the reason why I showed what I showed today is we're just talking about stuff that happened in 1965. Right? My mom was born in 1948. So like we're talking about the rights, to live, basically, is how I look at that. And so at the end of the day, however you plan on getting into tech, or however you plan on creating your family, I like to call it the family template, is what I like to call it. Because in that template you have some baseline stuff that you're going to do, and then that template can be used and handed down to generations, and they can manipulate the template, but it gives them a foundation. The template is a foundation to get started, right? And then what you do and how you set up and what you put in that template is totally different. I'm turning it over to D because she looked like she wanted to say something. Oh, okay.
No, I mean,
Okay.
you are far beyond where we was at.
No, but that was the point of what I wanted to bring up about 10 billion being invested into Black women. What does that look like? What can that look like? Um, how can a person help a woman who may go after that money to build their company? Why can't we support each other? Why can't it be like, okay, they giving them 10 billion? Okay, she got an idea, she should go apply. Let me see how I can support that. Or he has an idea, how can I support that? Like, where's that at? Right? I don't hear those. Well, let me say that. I don't like what I'm hearing in those conversations. Let's say that. Let's
Oh,
say
okay.
from that.
That makes sense. But when it's, that gets down to, it being the patriarchal society and where people want to go within that, we discuss where you hear those types of
No,
conversations from. No,
no, that's no,
okay.
that's not what I'm saying. Like when I say support, I mean like support in terms of like helping research the idea. I don't care who it is, man or woman, how you research
Oh,
the
okay.
idea,
Okay.
right? That's what I mean about that. Like, how do you research that idea? How do you come up? What is the template for your family? No family is perfect. No couple is perfect. They're perfect for each other, and that's you go from there.
Right.
But
Your
and
template is what you want it to be, what you
right.
share, what your end goal looks like for,
Mm-hmm.
your particular family.
Right.
And hopefully you can get with some like-minded people. Is everything going to match up line by line? No, I don't even think within that company, that couple, everything's going to line up line per line. Sometimes you just gonna have to agree to disagree when it comes to that. But I I pray, and I will that people support each other in all aspects of personal and professional and financial growth. You know what I'm saying? We have an organization, and we thought, certain people were there to support us, and they weren't there to support. They were there to take. And I think you just have to have a certain level of discernment about who, when, and where you share that at. Is it sad? Absolutely. It's sad that, everybody won't go where you're going. You can't share in certain places with certain people. But I guess that's why you look for, your like-minded people to share that and grow with.
Mhm. And like I said, you more than what y'all are more than welcome to come up. Just Jay, you say it's foreign to you. What is foreign to you? Is it foreign to build, or foreign from a technical standpoint? Because
And then you got to go back up, because the comment that Just Jay made was, you seem like you're simply about the money. And then I was like,
ah
I invited Just Jay to come up, and they said maybe another time is also foreign, but it still didn't really address the comment about
ah
why it was. Did you seem like you were all about the money when you were like explaining the purpose of why you say it was two
ah
hundred thousand?
oh yeah. So it is about the money. Like it is. It's not just a. It's not just what it is. It's just
That's what
it
it
is.
is.
It's like
What it
like
is.
like it is like like we don't have the money, right? To we spend it, but if our oh yeah, yeah. I'm about building, yeah. When we are in the conversations of like, hey, I should invite Rochelle on to talk about the appliances and so forth and so on, right? She was on Erica Williams show. She was talking about how some of how home appliance and home appliances and smart home appliance repair, where people are pulling in 100K, right?
Mhm.
A month, right? Miss Excel does the TikTok videos. And I talked about it at 10 seconds, 10 seconds or 50-second clips. And she's making 100,000 a month just on Excel. And she signed an exclusive deal with Microsoft to do all their entire suite of of videos, right? And which brings me to this young lady right here. I don't know if you all, I put it in creative. I put this in creative. Creating wealth in the Slack channel, but let's look at her.
Building it and growing the community and seeing how much people loved the bags, I realized that this could really be something big, like it was giving billion-dollar business idea. My name is Will Glory Tanjong. I am the founder and CEO of Anima Iris, and I am 25 years old.
Will Glory is a full-time MBA student at UPenn's Wharton School of Business, and she also runs Anima Iris, a luxury handbag brand. Since launching in February 2020, the company has brought in over $725,000 in sales. And that's not all. Anima Iris has caught the attention of celebrities like Beyonce, big retailers like Revolve and Nordstrom, and was even seen on Issa Rae's show, Insecure. These bags are spotted everywhere, and this is just the beginning. Here's how a full-time MBA student built a profitable handbag business out of her knack for fashion and desire to share Black stories.
Now, I brought her up because I was looking at it because she talks about her journey in this video, and she talks about how she created the actual brand itself, the purse itself, and where she gets her materials from, and who she has working for her. And then what this video actually talks about is actually she had dropped out of college, and then she went back to college to make sure that she understood business. But of course that creates debt, right? Because she's actually paying for that out of pocket, and I think it's to a tune of 100,000. Now the question is, could she have gotten a mentor, right? I'm not knocking her, I'm just asking questions about, again, about community and building. Like she's already made over 725,000, right? She went back to school so she could understand business, which is not a bad thing. But could she have gotten a mentor and had some guidance in order to do that, right? To help her out with that. So those are the one of the caveat questions that I had. But she took it into her own hands. And so, I mean, could she probably pay for that college over time, pay that off? More than likely, right? Because the brand is picking up, and that's been seen 150,000 times on here. So you can imagine just the views, and then somebody sharing. So, you know, I'm looking at it that from that perspective. As you create your templates out, as you start to build your wealth, are you doing your best to make sure that you're able to mentor someone else? Are you able to highlight your successes and failures? That's why I wanted you to come up to highlight your successes and failures. I tell you my failures, like the back of my hand. I know my failures. I'm not scared to share my failures. What I fear is that I don't share my failures. And everything ain't always peaches and cream. So just want to make sure that we highlight that. D, you're in the back. There she is. Yep, that was it. That's all I had to say today.
I don't believe you.
That's it. That's all I got. I don't have nothing else. I hope
I
it
don't
wasn't.
believe you.
I hope it was informative. I hope everybody got something out of it. We talked a gamut of ideas and thoughts and stuff. Like I say, you're more than welcome to come up and share it. If you don't have anything to share, totally understandable. That's it. That's all I got, D.
I mean, I would think that was enough for people to stew on. I hope they learned, and also I hope that we sparked interest in order to go back into some of these articles and resources that we shared. And so you can get a better understanding for yourself and then bring, your findings back to the table and to clarify some things or share some other things that you have found on the topics that we discussed.
And just Jay, you say the foreign is in a technical sense. You on YouTube, and and just Jay, I have seen you join panels. I have seen you talk. I I'm not buying. I'm not buying the fear. I ain't buying it. I'm not buying it. I'm
What
calling
you
you
say? You
out.
call
Just
BS?
Just Jay. I'm calling you out. I've seen you on
Oops.
the panels.
Oops.
I know you know how to make a phone call. I know you know how to cam up, and
Don't
and
be looking.
and and I know you know how to talk. So kapooey on your foolishness.
What you say? No.
Yeah,
You need more people.
yeah.
You
I'm
need
not
more
buying.
people.
I ain't buying it.
No. I
Yeah,
mean, and it grows over time. We
yeah,
had this whole learning dialogue at the beginning, the top of the hour. Like we're all learning. You're not gonna get it overnight when it comes to the technical aspect, but that doesn't mean you don't have anything to offer in other respects
yeah. Shout out to
or an
keep.
opinion on a topic.
Yep. Shout out to Keep It Techie. Sim, I saw you in here earlier. Uh, Wealth Engineering, I saw you in here. Derek Washington, shout out to you. Uh,
I don't think this episode was a tech episode.
no,
Let it,
what?
let us let us
Kind
come
of
back
loose.
around that, Just Jay. You still need more people because this was not a tech talk.
I kept it
This
loose. I
this
kept
this
it
was
real
this was
loose.
this was more about wealth building. And for us, we always want to let you know, like, once you make the money, what to do with the money, where should your pods be, not financial advice, but what worked for us and what is out there. So you can Google what a cloud is.
Yep. Shout out.
Trust me, I'm the queen of the Google. I Google it all.
Don't be
And
feeling attacked.
I don't feel attacked. This is love. You have to know the difference between constructive criticism and getting beat up over the head. This is constructive criticism. That means we
I'm
see you.
attacking you now.
We see you. We're not going this is not that type of place.
Nah, that ain't no attack. I just want to let you get away with it.
And I haven't even seen you on those places. So
Shout out to Sasha and shout out to Kiana. Uh,
make a glossary. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to screenshot, take your notes, and so that you can go back. This is all learning.
Intentional Millionaire, shout out to you. I don't know if you're still out there. I don't know if you're still in the thing. In fact, Intentional Millionaire, you need to come up. You had me cam up on your show. You need to cam up on my show. You can't just sit in the chat and lurk, right? Wealth Engineering, Confrute, what's going on? What's going on? Keep it techie. Come on up. Come give a shout out to your video. I saw your video with the Terraform. I didn't get a chance to look at it yet. I was like, there he go talking about Terraform. He know that's my thing. There he go. What's going on, Wally? How you doing? Brandy has no last name. How you doing? Marina, what's going on? Gail at night, you still out there? Are you back on doing your thing? Big Bad Bull, shout out to you. Shout out to everybody, right? Let's see.
Don't forget to hit the like button. Or if you haven't subscribed, if it's your first time, go ahead and subscribe. We appreciate it.
Yep.
We're here same time every week.
What? Keep it taking then cam up. That's amazing. That's all right. I forgive you. Oh man, Sasha, yeah. I mean, I hope you stay motivated.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
What's up, guys? How y'all doing? Can y'all hear me?
Hey,
Yeah,
yeah, we
yeah,
can hear
yeah.
you. How are you?
All right, I'm good. How you
I,
doing?
I, s- I
And
saw you said you was learning Terraform. How you like it so far?
it's cool. Well, I haven't got too deep into it yet. I've just kind of went over how to actually get it installed. And then I'm at the point where I'm trying to figure out how to use it.
You
Cuz
gotta
like I
turn
like
the heat up.
I s- yeah, I said in my video that I'm still just trying to figure it all out. I purchased a book. I'm waiting on the book to come in from Amazon. Well, let me ask you this: do you recommend a certain book, or what book do you recommend? Cuz
I,
I
I re-
like the books sometimes. Oh, go ahead.
okay. I recommend going to their website and
Okay.
looking at the actual certification
Mhm.
guide. And
Okay.
that certification guide is going it's going to break down like the important pieces that
Mhm.
you will probably get from people that will ask you questions, right?
Okay.
So how to install it, when to use it, what is Terraform, right? What
Mhm.
do you, when should I be using this? Why should I be using this? You start writing your notes from that perspective, and then start
Okay.
also looking at it from the perspective of why would a company use this? And then
Mhm.
they also have Terraform Cloud, which is free, I think for up to like 5 repos, so you can connect like GitHub and GitLab or whatnot, your repositories up to Terraform Cloud, and you'll
Mhm.
start learning about Terraform State. So it'll hold your state for you when you go out and start building. But yeah, I'm getting ready to get my certification, so I'm studying for my certification and so forth. So
Okay.
yeah, let me know when you want to get together,
Okay. Yeah, cuz
post and stuff.
I shouted you out in my video. I was like, that's why I heard about it from Tam when she came on and did the interview.
Hmm.
I was like, I need to start looking into Terraform as well because of what you brought out. You know what I'm saying? I'm not
Hmm.
no expert in everything, and I try to let people
It's
know that
okay.
I'm not no expert in everything, and I'm still learning. And that's what you got to do when you get in the IT field. You got to constantly learn. So, um, I appreciate what you guys are doing, and that's really all I wanted to come up and say. I
It's all
appreciate.
good. We appreciate you.
Mhm,
I had to remind people we didn't have a cloud.
mhm.
It was no cloud, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't called the cloud, it was called something else, and then they changed it to the cloud, but it wasn't called the cloud, right?
Mhm.
So people gotta remember that, technology takes time to adopt. They used to say it takes anywhere from 5 to 10 years for technology to adopt.
Mhm.
So what you see now is it was not something that's just been somebody went and chipped away at a rock and then they said, "Oh, we're gonna call this the cloud."
Yeah.
Like not like you finding reptiles and we're gonna call it the cloud. But yeah,
Mhm.
let me know when you want to get together and study
Okay.
on
And
that.
I accidentally dropped out of the see, I'm still learning Slack. I accidentally dropped out the group because I was trying to add these other this company that's finna start sponsoring me.
Hmm.
They have one, and then it was trying to charge me or something because I guess it thought I was an organization, which I don't have. It's not an
Right.
organization yet. You know what I'm saying, to that point.
Hmm.
Um, so
I'll
I
go back
dropped out,
at
but I'm gonna hop back in it.
I'll go back and look and see if I can find you. If you're still in there and email, then I'll kick you out and then I'll resubmit you.
Okay, okay, yeah, that
Right.
sounds
'Cause
good.
in case you lost the channel or whatnot, you can just rejoin.
Hmm.
I'll kick you.
Okay, got you. Thank
I'll
you.
gladly kick you out.
But nah, shout out to you guys. I really love what you guys are doing. I'm always support. So
Thank you.
anything you guys need, just let me know,
We
and you
appreciate you.
know, whatever.
Yeah.
So y'all have a
Yeah.
good one. Oh, go ahead.
And I said I try to come over to your channel when I can, but I think we broadcast at the same time on Saturday
Yeah, yeah,
at two
yeah.
o'clock. So I have to go back and watch it and then I just do a little drop in the comment, like I see you, like I was here, I
Yeah.
watched it, whatever, and then go from there. So yeah, I come over to support. But yeah, get on that Terraform, man. Especially talking
Okay.
about multi-cloud and you doing databases too. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah,
make that.
and I'm also looking into Kubernetes as well.
Come on through.
Trying to
Come
trying to
on
learn that
through.
as well. So
If
I
I can install
actually
it, you
got a
can get
book
it
on that.
done.
What's that?
I said, if I can install it, you can get it done.
Okay. Yeah, I bought this O'Reilly book a while
Yep.
back, and
Yep. Yep. Yep.
I'm going through it, trying to get up and running, like it says on the title.
Oh,
So,
drop your in the back channel. Drop your channel. Someone's asking
oh,
about what's your
In the
channel.
chat, yeah.
And also
okay.
tell people about your channel.
Okay, yeah, and I'm Josh, keep it techie. I started my channel. It was kind of like a project for me to learn how to um well, not learn, but my journey on learning uh the Linux operating system. And so I've been doing videos on that for a long time. Just anytime I come across some new software, because I love the open source community, you know what I'm saying, and the freedom that you have. And so that was another reason why I kind of started it. I didn't care for Windows too much, and I never wanted to pay the exorbitant amount of money for a Mac computer. So Linux, was just something I became very interested in, and it's something that I try to do on my channel. And then the channel kind of turned into me helping people, because I started interviewing different people that work in the field, because throughout my IT career, majority of the positions I've worked, I've been the only black guy or black person in the building. You know what I'm saying? When as far as the IT area,
Say it again. In
I've
the
been
who?
in the
In the
in the
building.
building.
In the building, not in the department, but in the
Yeah,
who?
in the
The building.
building. So I started bringing people on because I know I see it's a lot of people out here doing great things in the field, especially black people, which we're kind of left behind. We're not. You know, I was looking at the stats a while back. We're like what 7% in technology as far as black people, and
And
that's
maybe 4.
male and female. I think
Mm-hmm.
we're dead last when it comes to you know um the people in the field. But I have started seeing people, and I think it's it should be a mission to put ourselves out there, so people that come from where we come from, because I remember when I was growing up, I didn't know. I looked at IT and that type of work as something black people really can't get into. You know what I'm saying? It was for other groups, and because we didn't see people that were actually doing it, they were not highlighted, they were not put in front of us.
Man,
But
I just had that
yeah.
conversation yesterday, and then the conversation went toward like I think there's different types of people, right? Like there are people who are like, I don't need anybody. I don't need to see nobody. I'm just going, for me, I don't need to see anybody. If I see it ain't us over there, I'm gonna go over there and be like, yo, what y'all doing over here? Yeah, okay, this is where I need to be, because I don't see nobody that look like me. So I'm going over there. So when I get that information, I be like, hey, y'all come over here and look at this.
Yep.
Let's go play in that sandbox over there. And when I get done playing on that sandbox, hopefully I brought 20 people with me to go over there and play in that sandbox. I'm gonna go find another sandbox that I don't see nobody that look like me in it. I'm gonna go over there and bring more. Like let me get 5 from over here. We got some over there. Let me need y'all 5 over here, right? But some people, they have to see someone in there before they even attempt to get into it. And we had this conversation yesterday. Why is that? What happened? What, like somebody, and these are his words, not mine. These are, in fact, I'm calling out Albert. These are Albert words. He's like, when did we get so weak? What happened? And I was like, I don't think it's weak. I think it's just everybody got their own plight. Everybody got their own way. Some people are just gonna be like, you know what, kick in the door, wave in the 4-4,
Yeah.
right? And then some people are just like, well, no, not sure if that's safe. I'll wait. And for rightfully so, for history purposes, I get it. But then when do you start? When do you
Yeah.
get in?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yep.
But
So
yeah,
that's where
I'm,
I'm at with it. But I appreciate your channel. I appreciate you. I don't even know how I found you.
it was off of I found you. It was off of Eric Erica
Erica
you went on
Williams.
Erica Williams channel. Yeah, like the
Mm-hmm.
first time. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
women in Linux. Oh, let me go check this out. You know what I'm saying? I was all hype in the chat,
You
super
and look,
chatting and
you
stuff.
was out high. You was like, it's a black woman
Yeah. I
that's
was
doing
like, this is
lineage.
dope.
That's rare. Like it's rare, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it is, right? It
Yeah.
is rare for me to not have ever worked with a black woman that was interested or even doing Linux at all.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I've seen some black men, but I've never worked with any black women. Like we sitting here side by side, girl, let's go to lunch because when we get back, we got to configure these servers and we got to do X, Y, and Z, or we gonna let this run while we go to lunch and then hopefully it'll be
Mm-hmm.
done. Nah, I ain't had that. I ain't had that vibe.
Yep.
I ain't had that vibe. I had the vibe with the guys. Let's go pick these servers up. We about to do this right here. We about to do this over here. We going to lunch, or my wife coming to get me for lunch, or whatever the case may
Mm-hmm.
be. Or this is what I usually get. My wife made us something to eat.
Yeah.
I get that. My wife made us something to eat. Girl, I
Mm-hmm.
got your plate right here. My wife said you gonna love this, right? That's usually what I get. But I can't fault uh women or even in this case black women for not knowing it is a lack of public display when it comes to infrastructure.
Yeah.
Anything front end, and if you say back end, people be like, oh, you know how to create application back ends and so forth. I'm like, no, I'm talking strictly VMware. I'm talking strictly Tanzu, or the actual building of the cloud itself, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yep. Cool.
I
So
appreciate
yeah, no problem, man. Y'all have a good day. Keep
You
putting out
too.
the information. I definitely appreciate it.
You
I'll
Thank you.
are.
talk
You
to you
have a good
later.
one.
No problem. You too. Bye bye.
Just Jay, I saw your comment. I saw your comment. You funny. You funny. But yeah, that is the goal, Sasha, is to create more, right? And we can do it. We can get to 200K. Um, you know, we can build that out. Will it take time? Absolutely. Anything is going to take time if you don't know it. And will you be a forever learner? Absolutely. You're going to be a forever learner. And then one day you may throw in the hat and be like, I had enough. I want to go do something else. I know plenty of people that have thrown in their hat and been like, I had enough of tech. One of the coworkers, one of my old former coworkers, decided that he had enough of tech, and so he went and built a house in where is that at? What's down below 7 hours, man? What's that? Key West. He went and built a house in Key West, and he built his plane, and he built his house where his plane can be stored in his house. And him and his wife are like, we out of here. We done with tech. We going to go stay at the house in the Keys, and they can afford to do it. But you gotta get your money in. You got to build up your wealth, right? And we talk about different ways to do that. So just want to point that out there. All right, I'm done, D.
You
Take
done again?
huh?
You done again?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, people. See you next week. Oh, we'll actually see you. Maybe we'll see you on Wednesday. Maybe not. We will definitely update meetup.com page and tell you what we are going to do about Wednesday. Somebody is making a move, and we'll keep you posted, but we'll definitely be back here on Saturday, the same time,
Somebody
11:30.
getting married.
Who getting married?
Somebody getting married.
Who getting married?
Somebody getting married. Married to the road, baby. All right, now I'll catch y'all later.